You are watching a clip from the Sports and Sorts podcast.
Sure. Want to get into some MLB? Because there's been lots of rumors out there. Tons of rumors.
Yeah.
Tons of trade rumors, particularly, they said MadBum was on there. But let's go.
Play ball!
There we go. And MadBum gets put out there as a trade. They're going to, oh my God, loud. That crowd is wild. They're crazy for the rumors right now. MadBum, the Giants said, we will listen. We will listen to trades. And
it's a smart move. I would too.
You will get a ton for him, even though he doesn't. I mean, what does he have? 2 years left, like next year and the year after? Or is
it's just this year.
Just
he's free agent after this year. So
this is going to be, and you're still going to get a ton for this guy.
Yes.
And then there's a lot of people like on different Yankees groups and stuff like, oh my God, you actually had a comment on one of them. Like, is this gonna impact because we traded, we got rid of Justice Sheffield for it? No, Justice Sheffield, yes, that would have helped, but we have so many other trade chips that we can offer. Many trade chips.
There is a part of me that wonders because you've heard, and a lot of the scouts are kind of backing it up, so it doesn't seem like the Yankees are blowing smoke, but you've heard a lot of talk about how there is a lot of interest in Sonny Gray, and I almost wonder if Cashman has held that chip, thinking the possibility. Now, I'm not saying that Sonny Gray is the centerpiece of a trade that gets you MadBum, but he's definitely part of it.
But I will say, Sonny Gray,
part of it, though.
Sonny Gray last year, everybody trashes him how bad he pitched last year, and he pitched bad.
Look at the home road splits
in New York. He pitched bad. He pitched to a 3.17 ERA on the road.
Right.
So you just gotta. He's not pitching in New York. Don't worry about it.
He would pitch very well in San Francisco.
Oh my gosh, yes. That is it's a hitter. It's a pitcher's friendly park.
Pitcher's park. Yep. He would pitch really well there.
And it's where he grew up. Like that is the optimal place for him.
It really is. That's a good landing spot. Now again, that's not the headline of the trade. That's part of the package. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. There's no question you would put him in there. Right, exactly. Yeah. So you get a little bit of control. But, I mean, obviously, if you're the Yankees, I think any package for Madison Bumgarner has to include Sonny Gray, probably Chance Adams, probably Esteban Florial, probably Clint Frazier, and who knows, maybe Estrada. You don't want to give up that much, but listen, this is the guy. To me, Madison I had this conversation with my brother. To me, Madison Bumgarner, and I know maybe some of the numbers are starting to show that he is trending maybe down a little bit. Mm-hmm. But to me, he is what Curt Schilling was to the Red Sox in 2004. If you go get MadBum and your rotation is MadBum, forget about what you're giving up because you know it's going to be a lot. But if that rotation is MadBum, Paxton, Severino, and Tanaka, the Yankees should win the division. And I know that's look. Because the Red Sox are going to be great. They're going to be good again. There's no doubt about it. They're going to be right there again.
Did you even put Corbin in there?
Well, I wouldn't even include Corbin at that point. I think he'd end up being a Philly. But if the Yankees are still a team that has the chips to pull off that move. The question is whether or not the Giants would demand Andahar. And if they would, I'd still give him up, but you got to lessen some of the other stuff, though.
Well, see, this is what I think's going on here and that's why they were possibly kicking the tires on Cano, is because now one, they don't necessarily right now the way that everything stands, they don't need Cano. They don't need Machado. Like they could, I assume what they would be doing is they'd be moving Cano mainly to first base. That's where he would play most of the time. He'd probably play first, and you know what? That would be a good fit as far as that goes, because
it'd be a good fit in the latter stages of his career,
right?
Too.
Yes, because he's still a slick fielder, but he just doesn't have as much range. He's still got a good arm. He's going to make the plays, but first base might be a better spot. Third base, he'd
hit in Yankee Stadium.
Oh yeah, I mean
he can. So.
He didn't for a ton of home runs in Seattle because that's a hitter. That's a pitcher's park. I mean, it's not really the best park for someone like him. He's not the one that's going to hit a ton of bombs. He's going to be clear.
I don't want Robinson Cano back in pitch.
I know you don't. I know
almost under any circumstances, unless the Mariners are including Edwin Diaz in that trade, and they're eating a ton of money on that contract.
They would.
And they're taking Jacoby Ellsbury.
Yeah, I think you would be, and then I think so. This offseason could be absolutely nuts because you could literally see Cano and Diaz come to the Yankees. Betances get traded. He could be a person that's involved in the MadBum trade.
He could,
and like there are so many.
I wouldn't want that, but yeah, he could.
I mean, you're talking Diaz because then you're replacing Betances, who is a little bit older. But so like this could really be a huge snowball effect here, where you get Cano, you get Diaz, you trade Betances, Gray, Andujar, and then you get MadBum, and like there's just so many things that could go on. Like there could also be an issue where when they get Machado, then that frees up an Andujar trade. So like there are a lot of things that I can see why Cashman's doing what he's doing now, because obviously MadBum is available, but you don't have the main chip that you have to really put in there is probably Andujar to really get this thing ironed out. And you can't go. But I do think they should still move Torres to third, and you should sign DJ LeMahieu. That would be my optimal. And then you could still trade Andujar, and you don't have to make that $30 million splash.
Here's the thing, though. As much as I would love MadBum, and he's my favorite. I mean, he's literally hanging on my Christmas tree over here. You got to be able to get an extension with him, though. You have to be granted like a 24-hour window to negotiate a contract extension, because you can't just have him for 1 year. You can't give up that many assets and then allow him to hit free agency where he could leave.
Yes, that I would think that would almost be a guarantee. I mean, unless the only thing that could really help. I mean, but MadBum already has a couple. But is if they go to the World Series and just absolutely destroy, and then he had like the world just embraces him like that, I could see then him absolutely resigning. But you can't give up as much if you can't guarantee yourself a nice way to extend him.
I mean, again, it's just he's a guy that if he becomes available and the price is right, you have to pull the trigger. You just have to. He's just that good. He swings the balance of power, not just in the American League East, but in general to the Yankees,
absolutely,
where they become prohibitive favorites. I mean, they would have to be the favorites to win the World Series, because that is a postseason move. That's a move that you make to get a guy like him to start him in Game 1 of a playoff series. And again, if you're the Yankees, the other thing here too, it's important to leapfrog the Red Sox too, because you really, really want to avoid this wild card game, because it's not just that play-in game that makes things nervous, but you are on the road. Your road to the World Series has to go not through Yankee Stadium. It goes through opposing ballparks. In order for you to get to the World Series, you're going to play the majority of the games on the road, which means you have to win games on the road. I'm not saying you can't. Good teams should be able to win games on the road. But it definitely makes it harder. It's like in the NFL. I mean, you want that bye week, Mm-hmm. If you're in baseball, you want to win your division and avoid the wild card game and have as much of the path as possible to the World Series go through your home ballpark. It's really just that simple. To me, you get a guy like Madison Bumgarner, I mean, look, barring injury, that makes you the favorite. Now, will it play out that way? Who knows? We won't know until the season plays out. But that's the move. That's the Curt Schilling 2004 move. That's how the Yankees respond. If you're the Yankees and you want to see history repeat itself, but in sort of a reverse manner, then you go out and you get that guy, and then suddenly you're the 04 Red Sox. That's the move. That's the guy you get. Mm-hmm. That's the guy that swings the balance of power. If he is available, Brian Cashman needs to do more than kick the tires on that. He needs to make a strong, strong offer that the Giants just can't refuse. And he has if there is one team that has the chips of both major league ready and minor league talent, I can't imagine there's another team out there that can offer any better than the Yankees. I mean, there may be some teams that can match it, but he's got the right mix. They have the financial flexibility to sign him to an extension if it's something that MadBum would be willing to listen to.
Right. And so for me, this is how I would go about the offseason for the Yankees. I would make the Cano deal. I know you don't want him, but I would make the Cano deal. I would try and get Diaz. and you do whatever you have to do. You have to give up Ellsbury. Obviously, there might be a little switch there, and then you obviously give up one of your prospects. Something maybe not Florial, but something along those lines.
Yeah, not Florial.
But you're going to have to give up something for Diaz.
Probably maybe Estrada, but not Florial. To me, Florial. Yeah. If you're giving up Florial, then I said this months ago. If you're giving up Estevan Florial, then the other name on the name on the other end of that has to be Madison Bumgarner.
But there has to be some offset of contracts here.
No. Yes,
Ellsbury only has 2 years, and Cano has 4 or 5.
Has 5.
So there's got to be some offsetting there for the Yankees to have it make sense.
So they need money. They need them to pay.
And that's
some
what
of Cano's.
And to get the money, you might have to part with a top tier prospect.
I can't. It can't be Florial. Yeah, I don't care if you get Diaz back. That's a fleecing. Then if they get Florial out of that,
but. So you have that. You have those. Then I would personally sign DJ LeMahieu. You're not going to have to spend $30 million a year on him. You're probably looking closer to maybe 15, 18, something along those lines per year. I'm not exactly sure what he's looking at, what he's commanding. He is a really good second baseman, both defensively and offensively. And then I would take Torres or Andujar and then have them at third. So this is the trade that I would offer for MadBum. I would give Sonny Gray, Betances, because you got Diaz, and Andujar or Torres plus Frazier. And you have the 24-hour negotiation window. And then not only that, because you saved the money on not having to sign Machado or Harper, you still have money left over for Corbin. Now you're talking Tanaka, Sevy, Corbin, MadBum, Paxton.
Well, that's not going to happen because I still think they see CeCe as their 5th guy. But they haven't, which I disagree with because he's going to spend half the season on the DL.
Right, which is why I think they might go to a 6-man rotation.
I think they should.
To keep players like Paxton healthy, Tanaka, who seems to pitch
better. Too.
Yeah, but I'm saying
everybody.
If they go to a 6-man rotation, they have Corbin, MadBum, Paxton, Sevy, Tanaka. All those guys would benefit from rest.
Right.
So that would be huge.
And then your 6th guy is a future Hall of Famer.
Right.
I wouldn't have a problem with it.
I mean, and
I would not have a problem with a 6-man rotation.
Talking about splitting. I mean, you'd have Tanaka as a righty, Sevy as a righty, and everyone else is your lefties.
Yeah.
That is optimal right there. That right there that almost makes me want to tear up and cry a little bit. Hearing that, if they actually pulled that off. Wow. And I know people don't like Cano. I know that because of what he did, and then he had the PED situation. But if he came back and he did well, he batted .300, he hit 22 bombs, he had 90 RBIs, and he's clean. He's clean.
All would be forgiven. Sure.
All would be forgiven, and he's not going to make the Hall of Fame, but all would be forgiven, and we would be, and especially if he played a solid first base, because we haven't had that. The best first base that we had was Greg Bird, and he was above average.
Yeah.
And then he just could never hit. I mean, that's another guy you could just throw in for, S and G's.
Sure.
You could throw him into one of these trades, and then maybe he would, in San Francisco, might do a little bit better.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There is a lot of people. There's a lot of things a lot of chips that they have available, and I would really like to see something like that get made. I know that a lot of the league is going to balk at it because they're not going to want to see this monopoly of left-handers in the Yankees, system. But I'm telling you that I might cry if that actually happens. If what I just said, Cano, Diaz, and then LeMahieu, Torres or Andujar gets dealt in the trade, but one of them stays at third, and then you have, the MadBum trade goes down, Corbin gets signed. I can't even talk.
I think it's virtually impossible. It's like a dream scenario. It's way too good to be true.
It's a dream, but it all makes sense.
I'm not saying it doesn't make sense. I'm just saying
I'm not being completely over the top.
You're asking for a lot of things to fall into place there.
That's the biggest thing. Is that will the Phillies pressure Corbin to sign quicker? That's the biggest deal right there.
So the Phillies, speaking of which, rolled out the red carpet for Patrick Corbin yesterday. He came to Citizens Bank Park. They put his face photoshopped with a Phillies uniform on it on the scoreboard for him. Let me tell you something. That's all well and good. That's nice and cute and everything. But let me tell you, All the Yankees have to do to get him to sign is have him come to Yankee Stadium and have the first guy meet him be Andy Pettitte. And it's over. You can tune up the fat lady. Because I don't care. I mean, unless the Phillies are going to offer him some ridiculous contract, like $170 million, that guy's going to be a Yankee if Andy Pettitte is the first face he sees when he comes to visit the Yankees. And it's over. Because that, you know what, and I don't get very, like, I am usually very, like, cautiously optimistic about things, or just maybe cautious in general. But I'll tell you, man, all the Yankees have to do is put Andy Pettitte. You can put a Yankee, you can superimpose a Yankee uniform and a cap on him and put that on the scoreboard. But it'd be even better if him and Andy Pettitte were like pointing at it out from, like, you know, behind home plate, like, hey, that could be you. And Patrick Corbin's just like, I love you, Andy Pettitte.
Yeah. You put Andy Pettitte and Corbin right next to each other like this.
Yeah.
With the glove.
Yeah, there you go.
Up on the screen.
You know what I would do? You know what I would do if I were the Yankees? I would do the same thing as the Phillies did. I'd put his likeness on the scoreboard with the Yankee hat and the, you know, and the jersey and everything. And then I'd have the bullpen door swing open and I'd have Andy Pettitte jog out to the mound.
Oh my Lord.
To meet him. It's over. Ball game. Tune up the fat lady. Patrick Corbin will be in pinstripes in a matter of minutes.
I will play for a bag of nickels.
He'll be like, I think I need to sit down right now because things are getting a little...
His hand just starts all of a sudden just starts signing his name, like just randomly in the air. Like, where's the paper? Where's the paper?
Right. Yeah. It'll be over. It'll be over. That's it.
I can't send my name. My hand's shaking.
And again, for those of you who don't understand why I'm mentioning all this about Andy Pettitte, Patrick Corbin, that is his idol. That is his pitching idol. He grew up in Syracuse. He grew up a Yankee fan. He grew up loving Andy Pettitte. He wears number 46, Andy Pettitte's number. That's probably the only thing that he wouldn't get coming to the Yankees. I don't think he would be able to wear that number.
It'd be a missed opportunity if the Yankees don't do something with Andy Pettitte.
Oh my God, how would they not? I mean, come on. Again, this is one of those things where, like, if you and I are thinking it, then Brian Cashman has to be thinking it because theoretically he needs to be better at his job than we would be at his job.
Yeah, but it's, you know, there's schedules that fall and like he would have, like, so it really,
but Andy Pettitte loves the Yankees, and if as long as there is not, you know what, they'd probably try and move a schedule. If, like, Pettitte said, I can't be available that day, but I can be available this day, they'd probably say, Patrick, we need you to show up this day.
Yeah.
Instead.
Can you spend the night?
Can you spend the night? We'll wine and dine you. We'll do everything the Phillies did, except we'll do it in New York. Yeah. No offense to you, Philly, but you guys crapped all over Santa Claus, okay? These are the Yankees. As Joe Pacetto would say, these are the New York Yankees. You're coming to New York, dude. I mean, look, I remember I was seeing, like, all these tweets yesterday, like, oh, he's visiting Citizens Bank Park. There was no, and then you had, like, all these people on Twitter, like, don't let him get out of Citizens Bank Park without signing a contract. This is not the NFL. It doesn't work the same way.
Right.
Okay? Because in the NFL, you're dealing with the salary cap. And you have to use up those salary cap dollars on the guys that you want as quickly as possible. That's why these deals, like, as soon as NFL free agency opens, you're already hearing about the deals because they've already been made behind the scenes before the actual, you know, before it actually gets out of the gate. It doesn't work that way in baseball. There's a lot more patience in baseball. People wait till the winter meetings before they start. Most of the time, guys want to have contracts inked before Christmas.
Yes.
Because they just want that comfort.
It's just a nice Christmas present.
It's a nice Christmas. It's great for you. You know, hey.
I just signed a $100 million contract.
Hey, little Cam. Hey, little Isla. We're millionaires. Enjoy the holidays.
Yes,
you know what
exactly.
I mean? Right. So
you're gonna get your pony. You're gonna get your
right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so for me, I can't get, like, too worked up over, you know, all these people were like, did you really think that Patrick Corbin was leaving Philadelphia with a contract yesterday? That was not happening.
That would be just a boneheaded move by anybody that did that, because you have to test the free agency market. Yeah,
but you got to test the free. And
I wouldn't be surprised, even if after he leaves New York, he doesn't sign the next day. Like, I would be surprised.
I don't expect
if he doesn't go
to contract either.
Multiple places. He's going to visit Dodgers. He's going to visit these guys. He's going to visit everybody just to entertain them, see where his price is worth.
if you're a free agent, you have to go through this process. I would imagine it's a very enjoyable process to go through. You've got guys who are wooing you left and right, throwing ridiculous amount. Don't pay for a thing. You're getting put up in nice hotels. Yep. And this happens probably once in your career.
Yeah, maybe twice if you're lucky.
Maybe twice if you're really, really good.
Yeah.
But for the most part, this is happening once. I mean, for Machado and for Harper, it's going to be the same thing, especially in their cases, because they're probably signing anywhere from 8 to 10-year deals. And at that point, they'll be in their mid to late 30s, and those opportunities are not going to be there. And for Patrick Corbin, who's 29, this is his one big opportunity, not only to cash in, he's going to make $100 million plus.
Oh, yeah.
But this is his one opportunity to go through that experience. You have to live it up. I mean,
because baseball, sports in general, is such a negative place. Like, you're constantly on the trading block, which you think your team doesn't like you and want you anymore. That rips you apart inside. There's a lot of things that and then you go to like arbitration stuff, the hearings, and those are ugly. And they just basically tell you how bad you are.
Right.
And you have to tell them how good you are, which it's such an ugly time of like this thing that happens in sports. And yeah, if you're going to be wined and dined, and you're going to be told how awesome you are for a little while. Absolutely,
dude,
take it when you can get it.
All over that. I'd be all over that. I'd be like, but I would want, like, if I were a free agent though, I would want to sign before Christmas. I would try and hit all those spots.
And he's making the rounds at the right time.
If you're Patrick Corbin, the bottom line is you probably have. My guess is he probably has 3 spots. Mm-hmm. Philly, New York, and then maybe one other one that I'm not thinking of that he would legitimately sign. He's going to end up in one of probably 3 places, I would guess. And realistically, it's probably either Philly or New York. The Yankees will make their pitch. There's no doubt about it. And then he's going to, he's either going to go where the money is, which could be Philly, because Philly will probably be more aggressive financially.
Yeah.
Or he's going to go and try and pitch on the same mound that Andy Pettitte went and won 5 World Series with the Yankees for.
Not the same one.
Which one? Well, no, 2 different mounts. But which one are you going to pick, though? Who are you going to go with? Are you going to take a little bit more money to go to Philadelphia and that bandbox and get lit up? Maybe. Or, I mean, we know Yankee Stadium is a bandbox, but it obviously plays much better to left field than it does to right.
Yeah.
So, which one are you going to do? I mean, to me, it would probably be a no-brainer, but again, he grew up a Yankee fan. This is like his family loves the Yankees. There was no way he was leaving Philadelphia as a Philly yesterday. That was never going to happen. And I actually saw like tweets on Twitter because people just get carried away. Like he signed with the Phillies. Like, no, he didn't. No, he did not. I mean, he may. I'm not saying he won't.
Right. Because they're going to offer the most.
He was. Oh, of course they are.
Yeah.
But there was no way he was leaving there yesterday with a contract. There was no way that guy was not going to play out the free agency process.
And Corbin, he knows exactly what's going to happen to his ERA if he goes to Philly. It's going to probably go up a little bit.
He'll be in the 4s.
I think it'll be high 3s, maybe high 3s.
Close to 4.
Yeah. But, and he, they are an up and coming good team.
Sure.
But still, he would be probably the ace of that staff. And he's not an ace.
Yeah. No, he's not. No,
he's at best a 2. Like he is really, really good 2.
He is much better suited to the Yankees rotation where he would slot in as their 3 or 4.
And when you're a 3 or 4, you can win a ton of games and you can just relish in the victories and the playoff berths.
Honestly, I don't see how he could possibly be higher than a 3 because my guess is it would be
in the Yankees rotation. Yeah,
and actually it's more likely that he's a 4 because Severino is without a doubt still going to be your 1, which means you're going to go with a lefty next, and that's going to be Paxton. Sorry, Patrick Corbin. And then you're going to go back to righty, which is Tanaka, and then you're going to go back to lefty, which is going to be Corbin Cece.
Yeah.
So he's your 4.
Yeah.
Now imagine how much less pressure there is on him.
Corbin in the number 2 spot. You could do that at Paxton. Him and Paxton are close. I mean, Paxton's got probably better stuff, but he's also hurt more. So there's you might want to lessen his load a little bit.
I'd still have Paxton be my 2.
But no, I mean, no matter what, the Yankees still have to sign. They have to sign one more pitcher. I still think they should go to a 6-man rotation. I think they should go to a 6-man. I mean, in addition to if they get Corbin, they have to get. They need 6 guys.
I think what's interesting about
I think it'll be Hap if they don't get MadBum.
Yeah, I think what's interesting about your theoretical trade though is that they financially would have the flexibility to do it because MadBum in getting MadBum, you're not taking on a big contract.
Not until next year.
Even right until next year, if you sign him to that extension, which of course you're going to, of course you have to do.
Yeah.
And good for MadBum. He deserves to get paid. I mean, he's going to get paid. You know, you just have to hope that the nagging injuries that he's had, and then of course the motorcycle accident, really haven't sapped him.
Right.
You know, his fastball is definitely down a few miles an hour, which is definitely, you know, I mean, at his age too, he's only 28, 29. That's a bit of a concern. You don't want to see those numbers start to, you know, trend in the wrong direction. So there are some concerns there with MadBum, but I still think, you know, the potential of what he gives you in October that's what you're signing him for.
Yeah.
You're going to pay that guy $20 million a year for October.
Yeah. I'm not 100%. I'm not really all that worried about MadBum that much. I mean, I think he's going to he didn't have a full season of recovery. This coming year is going to be a full season off.
Right.
He's going to be able to rehab the arm a little bit more, be out there chopping wood and all that kind of stuff that he does.
Right.
Likes to
well,
do,
all that manly crap that he does. Yes.
Carrying his motorcycle down on one arm, whatever he does. Him
and Carson Wentz probably go bowling on the weekends.
Yes. They go shooting off the highway, kill some birds and some other, they just go and kill things with their hands.
Can you imagine if those two hung out? Like you and me would be like that Chris Farley gif, where he like turns the glasses up.
Yeah.
We would be like, oh my
God. Yes, I mean, that could happen if he ends up in New York. I mean, they're a lot closer at that point in time, both on the East Coast.
Yeah, I mean, imagine if he got traded to the Phillies.
No,
then he's right there.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
That's possible.
But I mean, he pitched
well on the list.
Yeah, he pitched. I mean, he pitched well last year. 3.26 ERA. His WHIP was up a little higher, but that's because his strikeout totals were a little bit lower than they normally are, but not that much lower. So I'm not that worried about him.
I think the question for the Giants here too is, and I could see, because MadBum to me is one of those guys. I could see this. I could see it both ways. Like, I could see you extending him, of course. Why wouldn't you? He's an absolute legend. He's one of the guys that helped bring a dynasty to your organization. But I can also see you trading him and getting an absolute ransom for him, and really putting your team in a spot to rebuild for many years to. Not rebuild, but to stack up for many years to come and be very competitive for a long, long time.
I mean, you're reloading. If you reloaded with like Sonny Gray, you had Betances as your closer. You have Andujar or Torres playing in the middle infield and middle or third, and then you have Frazier as your new left fielder. I mean, that's a lot. And they could offer even more. They could be here's Tyler Wade. Here's and Tyler Wade could play well in the National League.
He could.
I mean, there are many people that they could throw at the San Francisco as long as they get a 24-hour window.
Yeah, they got to guess. Yeah, that has to happen. But that has to happen.
And Madison Bumgarner doesn't seem like the guy who's like out there looking for $30 million a year for 10 years. I don't think so. He's looking for championships. Wants to make his name as a World Series winner.
Legend.
Yeah, and that's what he is.
He is if he were to win, if he were to have been part of the Giants dynasty, and then he were to help the Yankees win World Series, he would be a legitimate legend of the fall. I mean, that would be his moniker. I mean, that would, I could see the Sports Illustrated cover, like if the Yankees won the World Series next year and MadBum was the winning pitcher in the deciding game. I could see the cover, Legend of the Fall, with MadBum in full extension in a Yankee road gray uniform. Oh my god! I gotta stop.
Spin it out of control. All right. Well, this is thank you guys for listening and watching. However you did this, if you did it on YouTube, you can subscribe to our channel. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe. You can also find us on.
If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You have just watched a clip from Sports and Sorts, where we go live every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday on YouTube. Thanks for watching.